Hello, Cheapskaters. My name is Kath, and I am the creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up, and laughing. Welcome to our channel. I'm really pleased to see you all here tonight. Now, I had a sneak just before, and we've got 30 people watching already, so that's really nice. 30 people. I hope if you're new, you'll join us in the live chat and introduce yourself. If you're not new, join in the live chat anyway, because we just love to hear from our friends. Oh, now, Yvonne was first here, 3 minutes to 7. She left her first message. Talk about anxious, not wanting to miss out. That's really good. Hi, Barb. And Wild Woman and Beverly and Estelle. All those assignments and exams over, Estelle. I've been praying for you. Another Beverly. Jenny. Estelle's been watching Turn Back Time. It is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Hello, Jody. Hello, Michelle. Aradia. Hi, Delaney. Guys, Delaney is our moderator. So be kind to her tonight. Make her job easy. Play nice. Be polite. Do all the normal decent things so she doesn't have to fuss about. On that note, if you've got a question, if you could put it in all capitals for me, it will stand out in the chat. And when I'm finished, I'll go back to the top and scroll through to try and find the questions. Yvonne's trying to pick a barbecue chicken carcass that the cat wants it. Hello, Sylvia. Hello, Evelyn. Your card was beautiful this week. I was just blown away. Hi, Sheena. Hello, Cheryl. Cat naps. That's what I need, a cat nap. Hello, Kathleen. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Jill. Hi, Melissa. Catherine Hughes is in New Zealand. Hope I'm feeling less burned out now, Kath. I'm tired. I'm just tired. I'm just old and tired, I decided. I'm just old and tired, and because I'm old and tired, I'm crabby. I can remember my mother-in-law, when she turned 60, she looked at everyone, she said, well, I'm 60 now, so I'm old. And that means if I'm crabby, it's because I'm old, not because I'm crabby. So I'm crabby. I'm just crabby because I'm crabby. We had a great time away, Estelle. It was absolutely beautiful. The weather was perfect because we only had one day of rain, but we were traveling on that day anyway. And the rest of the time I pretty much just sat around and did nothing but crochet and read. It was lovely. Plotted and planned. We talked a bit. Changed a few things that were coming up, rearranged stuff. It was a good we were away 9 days, I think, and it was lovely. I feel some days, Estelle, I feel absolutely positively ancient, let me tell you. Hello, Tegan. Okay, so I guess you've all been good. It's been 3 weeks since I've done a live stream. So what happened last week? I had planned to do it, and for the life of me can't remember what happened, but something happened at the last minute, and I went, I can't do this. I can't be in 2 places at once or do more than 2 things at once because I've only got 2 hands. Hello, Kim. So last week had to be cancelled. Sorry about that, guys. We're working to make it so that they don't have to be cancelled, because that would be good. A little consistency would be great, wouldn't it? Okay, 7:34. I think we'll get started. We'll follow the routine we have been doing. Oh, Kylie, Telstra router. Let me make a note. I'll come back to that. As we have been doing, we'll do the official part of the show, and then if anyone has to leave or wants to leave, they can, and we'll just keep chatting if we have to. Hi, Hev. Very cold in the UK. Okay, well, it wasn't very cold here today, but it was a really weird day, weather-wise. Although I have to tell you, got up, as I do, I get up every morning, go into the bathroom, have my shower, came out, got my T-shirt out, turned around, went to put it on, it was gone. In the 2.5 seconds it had taken me to pick out the T-shirt and turn around, I'd lost it. That set the tone for the whole day. I've lost so many things now. I've put them down, turned around, and it's been gone. Just weird. Absolutely weird. Anyway, hopefully tomorrow will be a new day. Well, it will be a new day. Hopefully it'll be a better day. So I wanted to talk to you tonight about where all the bargains have gone. Because seriously, I'm writing up my shopping list, and my shopping list, most of you have seen my shopping list. It's pretty boring. There's nothing exciting on it. But I'm writing it up and trying to do the end of year top-ups because I have been shopping more often since the shortages, but I still want to do that. I think that's my security, to do that end of year top up and make sure everything to start the new year is up there. But where have all the bargains gone? Honestly, totally crazy. I will tell you though, Woolworths from tomorrow have SPC baked beans for $1.10 a can. That's half price. That's pretty good. Now, if you have the Everyday Extra, or you have an Everyday Rewards card that's hooked to your insurance, or I think their phone plans do it as well, you might get 10%, another 10% off, which brings it down to 99 cents a can. So that's pretty good for a brand name baked beans. And SPC baked beans aren't bad, actually. He who is the baked bean connoisseur who lives over there doesn't mind SPC baked beans. Thank goodness. He's pretty easygoing though. He just eats what I give him. Hello, Greg Evans. Barb feels ancient most days late. I feel, Barb. I know what it's like. So where have all the bargains gone, guys? They've got to be out there. And they absolutely are, just not as obvious as they have been. I used to get the Coles flyer and the Woolies flyer and the Aldi one, which was Aldi's Aldi. And I'd go through it and look for the things that were on half price. Now, usually it was stuff that I don't buy, like the treats, the snacks, the things like that, or biscuits, those sorts of things. If they put flour on half price, I'd clear the store. I'd clear every shop within 10-mile radius, I think. But they're still there, just not advertised as much. You've got to do a bit of digging around. And I've found if we want the real bargains, we can't just rely on our 3 major supermarkets. We just can't. Now, what was it? Something last week was actually cheaper at IGA, full price at IGA, than it was on sale at Woolworths. And I can't remember what it was. And I remember thinking, I need to make a note of that, and I didn't do it. But so the bargains are there. They're just in different places. We need to spend more time hunting for them. And that's probably going to annoy some people because they'll say they're time poor, they don't have time, they're busy, they've got other commitments. I guess it comes down to, and this is not going to be popular, but it comes down to whether you are really determined to stick to your grocery budget, or whether you're an INO budgeter, and you just do it, in name only. You're not prepared to, while it's easy, you can do it, but once you actually have to put any effort into it, it's too difficult, it takes too long, got to go too far, got to make too many trips to too many stores to do what. The one that gets me is time. I don't have time. I don't have time to do that. It's all right for you, but I don't have time to do that. So I have to say, I have the same 24 hours in the day as everybody else in the world. Perhaps I just use that time differently. We all have different commitments, and I remember what it was like to have little children. I had 3 under 4, and a husband who wasn't here because he was off trying to find work. So I know what it's like to have commitments. I know what it's like to work a full-time job and have 3 children and have a house to run and still try to find grocery bargains. And back in those days, I had no choice. I had to look for them and I had to find them because we didn't have the money to spare. We didn't have the money for anything but dirt cheap food. Thankfully, these days, we are a little better off and we don't have to be quite so strict. But I still actively look for the grocery bargains. So they're there. Look for things like markdowns. I've noticed that my local supermarkets are getting sneaky now and actually almost hiding the markdowns. It was really quite odd. Where they used to have one Woolies that I sometimes went to if I was going past, had all their markdowns in one spot on the back wall. Well, now they're spread all over the store in different sort of empty shelves. My local Coles that I go to all the time always had the markdowns at the end of the back aisle. Not anymore. They're spread all over the store. Maybe that's the new marketing ploy. Have you hunting for the markdowns? You'll give up in disgust because you can't find them and you'll pay full price. I don't know. It doesn't work with me. I just keep looking. So they're there, but we have to look for them. I think the other thing we have to be really careful of is when we see something like from NQR. Now, if you're not in Victoria, not in Australia, NQR is not quite right. It's a discount grocery chain here in Victoria, and they sell close to use by, close to best before, end of runs, stock that's being updated, that sort of thing. And they used to sell them at up to 80% off. They were a bargain grocery store. I was in NQR last week. Friday afternoon, I was in NQR, our local NQR here, and the prices they're almost the same as the supermarkets. I was a little disappointed, but a few cents cheaper. So the bargains are there. We have to look for them. We have to look for them and do different things. But also we need to know our prices and what sort of deal we can get with them. For example, is Joy on tonight? I haven't seen her. Joy messaged me to say she got 25 kilos of butter for $200 and it's about not quite $250, $240 something dollars. And I thought, oh, that's not too bad. So I did a quick calculation. I'm doing it again. It's 250 divided by 25. That brings it down to $10 a kilo. Am I right? 25 kilos to, yeah, $25 a kilo. Why did I even need the calculator? I told you it's been a weird day. $10 a kilo, which is a good price for butter. But then I did some hunting around, and again, if you shop at Woolworths and you have the everyday extra and you get the 10% off, and the butter is on sale, you can actually buy it cheaper. We need to be aware of these things. Now, the everyday extra does cost you. You do pay for that 10% off if you do that. But you get double points. I know that's going to sound bizarre, paying for something. It's about, that's about, I don't know how much it is. About $6 a month, I think. $5.83 a month to get your 10% off one shop at Woolworths and one at Big W. Now, I'm not suggesting anyone do this. This is just an example of how you can find the bargains. You're pretty much creating your own. Now, you get 10% off at a Woolworths, one shop a month at Woolworths, up to the value of $500. You get $50 off that $500. So even if you paid your $583, you've saved $494. You've saved, you've still saved $44. Told you it's a bad day. Maybe I should have just stayed in bed. Losing the t-shirt was a good sign. Michelle says her son shops at Save More. Is that Save More in Springvale, Noble Park, on the highway? Again, you really need to watch your prices because they used to be really cheap. I bought butter there. I'm on my last block. Well, I've got half a block left. Butter there before lockdown and put it in the freezer. And I'm on my last block of that. And I'm sort of hoarding it for Christmas shortbread. And it was really, really cheap. But I've noticed, because I get their emails, you really need to know your prices because some of the things aren't any cheaper. Keep your price books up to date, folks. It's not difficult to do. Another group's been talking about price books and tracking prices and using phones and whatever. I just have a notebook. You log in, go to the member center and log in and go to tools. You will find the price book pages to print off. Just do your major ones. Do the main things you buy. You don't have to do everything. But know your prices and know the sales cycle and follow it. Now, a good thing that has happened recently is that lamb has come down in price. It's down to $8 a kilo at Woolworths. Corned beef has come down in price to $10 a kilo at Woolworths. Costco mince is still $9.99 a kilo, and it's not too bad. You know someone with a Costco membership, get them to get you some mince. It's not too bad. Yeah, Stew 45. Welcome, you seem new. Woolies, yes, Woolly has legs of lamb and the half legs for $8. Exactly. I was surprised because usually the half legs are more expensive. Hello, Annabelle. So we need to know our prices. Steak is still expensive. I'm waiting for chicken to hopefully come down for Christmas. Woolworths usually around the back to school time, January, February, Woolies used to always have chicken for $2.99 a kilo. Whole chicken's $2.99 a kilo. Great price. And I would stock up. I would buy enough for the year and put them in the freezer. That didn't happen this year. So I sort of missed out on my whole chickens, which was a bit of a horrible thing to happen. The cheapest I've been able to get them was $3.49. That was a while ago. So again, you need to know your price. So one person's life journey, hello. My local IGA has pork shoulders, rolled pork shoulders for $7.99 a kilo. A good price. it freezes, guys. If you've got a vacuum sealer and freeze it. It extends the life of it enormously. So we're finding bargains already, just talking amongst ourselves. They're still there. Things like I was looking at the chocolates and treats and stuff for Christmas, New Year, because we have Christmas, we have New Year, we have a birthday, we have an anniversary, we have another birthday within about 5 weeks. So this is sort of our busy time of year. So I'm always looking for treats, chocolates, or, you know, things like that we like. And I found some that blew my mind, because half price at Coles was what used to be full price. I was just like, oh, they're a bit expensive. I did find some at NQR. They were still expensive, but cheaper than full price. So that worked. Estelle, if you need more iron in your diet, get yourself some dark grape juice and have a glass every morning and a glass every night. Just a small glass, not a big one, just a small one. It's much more easily absorbed than the iron from meat. I'm not saying don't eat your beef, because it's good for you, but the iron in your dark grape juice will perk you up in no time. Aldi had chickens for $3.49 a kilo 2 weeks ago. Yeah, that's about the cheapest they've been for ages. I missed that. For $9.99, rump was $56. Yep. Rosella soup, Tetra Packs, 5 for $1 at Australian Butcher. Just the single serves, Michelle. Yeah. Yep, dark grape juice. Dark grape juice is still the dark grape juice. Any dark grape juice. There's Bickford's. There's in the curly bottle. If you can get a sanitarium one, or any dark grape juice, just a little glass in the morning and a little glass at night will perk you right up. And the iron from fruit and vegetable sources is absorbed on its own, and it's more easily absorbed. Okay, one person's life journey. Yes, we were talking about these a couple of weeks ago on our handmade Christmas reveal. I've made a whole lot of them for Christmas this year, and Jane had a funny name for them, and I can't remember what it was. But yes, they're very easy. Just be careful what you put in them, that what you put in them isn't going to go musty and moldy, the crystals, the water crystals. Parsley, great. Patricia, that's another good source. Yes, just munching on parsley is really good. Okay, so the other thing that we need to be aware of, we're talking about food, but things like back to school stuff, because now we're going to be looking for bargains for school shoes, for socks, for shirts, for sports clothes, whatever. So keep your eyes and ears open and look for them in different places. Look for smaller department stores, Best and Less or Best for Less, over Target or wherever. Will often have cheaper and better sales in kids' clothing, especially the school uniform stuff. If you can't get uniforms from the uniform shop, try Best for Less. I'm not sure if they're Australia-wide or not. Now, Aradia is saying that Woolworth's Everyday Extra annual subscription is $35, and I think that's up until the 20th of December for new subscribers. You have to be a new subscriber. So what you do is cancel. If you have a subscription now, cancel it. And hopefully it will expire before the 20th so you can rejoin on the special. There you go. Oh no, $21. Sorry. Well, you know what? Is Annabelle still around? Talk about Annabelle did a great blog post last week on her Nana series about valuing our work. $21. Wowzers. Now I've made 5, 9, 14. I've made 19 so far for this Christmas. Wow. I would never pay $21 for it because I can sew. That's interesting. The other thing is too, we need to value our work, and perhaps we should do a talk about that and bring Annabelle in for that. Have Annabelle in our chat. Because I spotted, just by accident, I was out last Friday walking past this la-di-da fancy cake shop that is really expensive. Like even their coffee is really, really expensive. So I just always walk past. But they had these little Christmas cakes. And they were like 4 serves, $29.99. Serves 4, or no, 4 serves, $29.99. And I just looked at it because I put cakes in my hampers. I put little cakes in my hampers and little puddings. And I thought, wowzers, that's just amazing. The price, and someone will pay that. Because then I thought, in one hamper I give to a family, I put 6 of those little cakes. And my cakes are bigger than what was being sold at the la-di-da fancy cake shop. And I thought, wow, that's a lot of money. That's like $180 of value added to my hamper. I'd never thought of it like that before, which is really unusual because I am sort of a bit switched on with what things cost and what we save by not spending that money. And I do keep a list. So that was like, whoa, I just blew my mind. So $21 for a necktie that literally takes, from cutting out to the final stitching, 10 minutes at the most. And if you do it in an assembly line, they go through really, really quick. So yeah, learn to sew. Anyone that doesn't know how to sew, learn to sew. It'll save you a fortune. Christmas cakes, half bread loaf size for $65. Yeah, absolutely outrageous. I worked out how much it cost me to make my cakes, and I better shut those notes down. Just let me see. Nope. I got 5, 9, 10, 12, 13, $14 it costs me to make a 25 centimetre round Christmas cake, and it's about 7 centimetres deep. I get 36 small ones out of one recipe of my cake mix, and I do use a scoop so they're all the same size. I used to do that more so little people wouldn't argue over his cake's bigger than mine, but I do use a batter scoop. It's actually just, I think it's just an ice cream scoop. I'm pretty sure it came from NQR, now we're talking about it, to measure out the batter so that I know they're the same size. Excuse me, guys. But yeah, I listed out the fruit is $5.50. The eggs are $1.20. The butter was, did I calculate the butter to be? $2. Then there's the sugar. Lemon juice I put in at 50 cents because it came out of my freezer. Treacle was 25 cents. So, and the spices I think I put in for about $1. It was $1 worth of spices because I do use a lot of spice in my fruit cakes. I use cinnamon, nutmeg, mixed spice, ginger. Cinnamon, nutmeg, mixed spice, ginger. That's it in my cakes. So yeah, we shouldn't undervalue our efforts either, and that I guess comes down to finding a bargain, because $65 for a Christmas cake isn't a bargain, not when you can make one for $14, and they are not difficult. They are not difficult. Not difficult at all. Estelle, that's $8 for a cake is very inexpensive if you are buying them. Very, very inexpensive. Right, so looking for bargains. We're looking for bargains for clothes for kids. And I'm talking new here, pretty much new, because we all know to search the markets, op shops, garage sales, ask our friends, haunt the school uniform shop. We all know to pass things down amongst friends and family. So that sort of thing. But if you want new clothes, you've got to look for bargains. The other thing to do is sign up for Facebook notifications now. Sorry, guys, more spammy stuff coming to you. But for warehouse sales, for closing down sales, for clearances, that sort of thing. We have just down there in Croydon, we have a factory, I've forgotten what it's called, does towels and bed sheets and that sort of thing. They have a sale twice a year, and it is a real sale. It is a genuine sale. You will pick up beautiful brand name towel sets there that would sell for $120 in the store for about $30, and they're beautiful, beautiful quality. Now, they might be returns because the colours changed and they're out of fashion. They might have over ordered in a particular colour. Seconds are much cheaper. Hannah's still using towels I bought for her when she was about 5 or 6 from that same sale, and she's still using them, and they were seconds when I bought them back then. So we've got that close by. I'm on that mailing list. I'm on the mailing list for the forgotten the name of it. It's a really bad day, guys. Kitchenware. They sell Rayco, pots and pans and Rayco. They do KitchenAid, bakeware, all that sort of thing. And their prices, as a rule, are much cheaper, around a third less than what you pay for them in the store. But when they have their sales, they will be down 75, 80% off what you pay retail. Now, I know that's not something that you need all the time, but we do need them occasionally. And it's nice to have backups. I have backups to my wok. I have backups to my favourite saucepan, because if anything happened to it, I don't think I'd be able to cook potato, that sort of thing. And we've done them all dirt cheap at those sales. So get onto those lists. And toy sales. Now, Wendy posted over in Cheapskates Chatter. Wendy posted over in Cheapskates Chatter, which is our Facebook group, guys. If you're not joined our group, you're very welcome to do so. There's a link down there about a toy store where she got Buzz Lightyear toys and games and figurines and things for $5 and $10. So it's over in Cheapskates Chatter. We need to know our prices. The bargains are out there. If you've got little people in your family, even though perhaps we'd prefer not to give toys, everyone needs something, be it a puzzle or toy cars, trains, bikes to ride, that sort of thing. We still need to know where the bargains are. Here we go. There we go. Kylie knows the prices. That's really good. $2.43 is what making my own 550ml jar of timber stain costs. 1 steel wool pad and 500 mils of vinegar. Now that will rust just about overnight, I'm sure. It almost happens before your eyes. Same colour at the hardware store, $41.50. The stained timber bench is $1,200. I would DIY it too. If you care to share a picture with us later, pop it over on Facebook and a Facebook group. That would be really good. And submit that tip to the tip store too, Kylie, because that's really good. I forgot about that with steel wool and vinegar. I stained, or I rusted, antiqued, I don't know what you call antiques, I guess, some metal tray things that I wanted to decorate, and I did the same thing, steel wool and vinegar, and the tray in a shallow dish, and left it. I only left it for a couple of hours because it happens really quickly. Stollen. Everybody likes Stollen, I think. We all like Stollen. So, checking my notes. Where have all the bargains gone? We're finding them. They're out there. The talk has been, please nobody tell me I'm wrong or whatever, because I'm not. I'm quoting the figure that was reported. Just under 20% of Australian households are finding it difficult to buy food, or to buy enough food and essentials, so food and medicines, or food and formula for the baby, that sort of essential thing. We need to know where our bargains are, and we need to put a little more effort into finding them. Now, we can offset our groceries by growing our own food. We all know that. And most of us do at least grow some, or try to grow some. There's always going to be an element that can't, for whatever reason. They just can't. And that's fine. If that's the case, you need to find where your cheapest produce is. Now, if that's at your supermarket and you buy just the markdown produce at the end of the week, do it. If you have a greengrocer close by, perhaps you can work a deal with them and come up with, you buy a box of their end of week sad veggies for X amount of dollars. Or you go to a wholesale market, you go to a fruit and veg market, Queen Vic, Dandenong. They're not necessarily cheaper. That's the thing, you need to know your prices. Now, my local greengrocer is Big Watermelon, and absolutely not my favourite. Absolutely not my favourite. But for the last few months, they've been the cheapest. When I can get potatoes for 40 cents a kilo, I'm going to do it. When they're $2.50 a kilo at the supermarket, you can bet your boots I will make the effort to go and get them for 40 cents a kilo. Sweet potato for $1 a kilo. Lettuces for $1.80 each. And they're not little lettuces, they're nice big lettuces until our lettuce comes in. That sort of thing. Sometimes you just have to swallow your pride and go and do it. Find out where those things are. You might have a neighbour who has fruit trees and they don't use the fruit. Excuse me. Oh dear. Do a swap with them. I have a neighbour, I'm sure I've told you before, we've got a neighbour around the corner, has a plum tree on his nature strip. He puts a sign out every time, please take the plums, we don't eat them. And he would rather people stop and took the plums off the tree so he didn't have to throw them in the bin, run over them with the mower or whatever. So get to know your neighbours, and that builds community. If you get to know your neighbours and you do a little bit of swapping and bartering to and fro, you're building community so that you've got a support system in place if you need it. If, I don't know, the zombie apocalypse happens, your support system is already in place. You have your community in place. Everyone knows who can do what, who can cut hair, who can grow great tomatoes, who makes really good sourdough. You've got your community in place. So it's not a bad thing to do, but it's another source of finding your bargain. And that brings me to bartering for your bargains. Maybe you have a skill that somebody needs and they have something that you need, trade for it. Do a swap. Money doesn't have to change hands. You just need to find that bargain and build on it. Find that skill and use it to get your bargain that you need. Yeah, Stell says the other week Mum was sick and drinking heaps of lemon drinks. When she ran out, she went for a walk and found trees hanging over fences. Every time Thomas goes out to take Lacey dog for a walk, he takes a bag with him and he will come home with it, sometimes full of fruit, sometimes it might have only 1 or 2 pieces of lemons, mandarins, oranges, whatever, hanging over fences and dropped on the ground. I don't care. Fruit's fruit. People are too silly to use it. They obviously have never been hungry. It's the weather's not been good for gardening, Krista. Our weather has been awful for gardening. Really hot and muggy or wet. It's just not good gardening. I have to force myself to get out there too. And I was looking at it this afternoon, and honestly, the wet, the muggy, humid, a little bit of rain we've had, it's growing really well. The berries are doing really, really well. Yeah, it's not been great weather. I struggle to get motivated with it too. Cauliflower leaves are edible. You can get heaps of them free. Yes, you can. Boiled fruit cake. My recipe is a boiled fruit cake. It was my mum's recipe here. And it's a boiled Christmas cake. So it's a bit more like the tradition. The ingredients are more like the traditional heavy Christmas cakes, just boiled, which works really well. Now I've got some there. $7.50 a kilo for lemons is disgusting. Have dehydrated veggies while they were plentiful? Yes, I dehydrated them. I bottled what I could, dehydrated them, froze heaps. I'm trying to get away from the freezer, but I still put lots in the freezer to try and beat inflation. Isn't that what we want to do? Isn't that what our Reserve Bank wants us to do? Stop spending so they can bring interest rates down and call inflation to a halt, something along those lines. they want us to stop spending. And sadly, if we stop spending, it's going to cause other problems, isn't it? But anyway, no, it's weird weather, Beverly. Yeah. Oh, Michelle got fresh Calypso mangoes at Coles for 50 cents each. That was a bargain, an absolute bargain. Well done. Okay, so it's the bargains are out there. They're out there. We just need to look for them. So it means putting a bit more effort into our shopping, into making our shopping list, because we might need to go to 2 or 3 stores. If you're in a capital city or a bigger regional city, chances are that those stores are quite close to each other anyway. If you are remote rural, it's a little bit different. You still need to plan your trips. It might be that you do more online shopping and just do pickups. What is it? Car to boot, boot to car, shop, click and collect. You know what I mean? Do that sort of shop for a while, and then you're just going shop, bang, bang, bang. You've already done your shopping, and you know you just pull in, get it put in the boot, and off you go. Or it might mean that you do actually go to different stores and plan a whole day out of shopping, that sort of thing. But the bargains are out there. They are there to be had. We just need to be aware of them. The other thing that could be is that we need to change our way of thinking about food, especially, and not be afraid to try new things. Just because we've always used beef mince doesn't mean if turkey mince is cheaper that we can't try it. Now, we don't like turkey mince, but we don't like turkey. We prefer beef mince, and I've been fortunate enough earlier this year to be able to can up a whole lot of it. We've got heaps of it on the shelf at the moment, which is really good coming into summer. No more cooking, just tip it in the jar it, and away it goes. Okay. Yeah, cracked eggs are a pain. One person's life journey has been trying vegetarian meals with beans, tofu. Tofu is expensive though. You need to be careful. I find tofu very expensive for what it is. Yeah, Krista's got 4 supermarkets fairly close to each other. It helps. It helps. You plan your trips accordingly. If it means you've got to break your shopping up and do it over 2 days or 3 days, then you do it. You do what you have to do. I think that's probably a sign of a successful person anywhere, is they do what they have to do. They don't go, oh no, I really need to do it's just so hard. I'm too busy. I don't have to. They just do it. There's no procrastinating, no putting off, making excuses. They just do it. So we do what we have to do to find the bargains, but they are out there. Well, it depends how many kilometres you're travelling in that hour. How many kilometres are you doing in that hour? If you're only doing 10, like, okay, when we lived in Sydney, I lived 11 kilometres from my parking spot at work, but it used to take me 40 minutes to drive that 11 kilometres. If you are in the country, you can do 100 kilometres an hour. So technically you can do 100 kilometres in that hour. Even then, it's all relative. Do you think it's too far to go? I used to travel an hour and a half to do my grocery shopping when we were in the country. I only did it once every 3 months, but I did it. So, what does anyone else think? Is an hour too far to go? You need to work out your kilometres, how much it costs you in fuel, how much you're saving. If you're doing other things along the way, is it just there and back, or do you make a day of it and do doctor's appointments and dentists and hairdresser or whatever too? I don't know. If it doesn't bother you, it shouldn't bother anyone else, because it's nobody else's business but yours. If it's putting a strain on you, then perhaps you might need to find a closer alternative. And see what works for you. Because the other thing is, in Australia, we think nothing of driving for an hour to go anywhere. But if you're in Britain, you've got to travel for an hour. It's almost like you've got to take an overnight bag. It's a long way. So, again, it's all relative. Yeah, Hev lives in a rural area, so she's got to travel, and they do other errands at the same time. You make it work, don't you? It's the way it makes it work. Krista does multiple things if she comes to Melbourne. Yeah. If the other town over and it's an hour away, but it's got a greater variety for you, do your lists online before you go, so that you can compare your prices and know what you're going to pay. Always helps, and take it from there. Kylie does a 3-hour round trip, buy it all in one day. Yep. Why not? I think that's yeah, Colac is there and back in a day. Ballarat's easily there and back in a day. We do Warrnambool and back in a day. Or Wang there and back in a day. Shepparton there and back in a day. So it depends. It really depends. Yeah. What it boils down to is you do what's right for you. You don't do what's right for me or for your next door neighbour or for your sister-in-law or your brother-in-law or your boss. You do what's right for you, what works for you and your family, your household. Sure, you can look at what other people are doing and think that's a good idea. Maybe that would work for us. If that's completely off the planet and they're whack jobs that need to be put away, we won't try that. But it really, really boils down to you have to make the decision to decide what is right for you. I can't tell you what the best thing to do is in that situation, because I don't know. There's a lot of variable information there that only you know. So you make it work for you. We all have to make it work for us. Yep. Well done, Estelle. House inspections and a catch up with a friend in a day. Yeah. It's just such a pain from our side of town getting over that Westgate Bridge. And once you get past Geelong, it's not so bad. But by golly, until all that roadwork's finished, it's going to be a right royal pain in the patootie. Okay. Do we all know the bargains are there? That they are still there. They're just hiding. They're not blatantly advertised anymore. And perhaps some of them aren't quite the bargains that we there you go. Yvonne's son travels 100 kilometres each way. It's a 200 kilometre round trip, so a 2-hour round trip, and it's cheaper for him. So there you go. That works. It works for him. It might work for you. It might not work for you. You do what you have to do. You have to do what's best for you. It wouldn't be so bad, Estelle, but they keep changing the signs on the bridge. They do a bit, and then the lanes change so they can do a bit more. Then they swap back. I got caught out going to Caroline Springs a couple of weeks ago because of when last time I went that way, and this time I had to go that way. Put the signs further back, folks. I'm sure, Yvonne, I'm sure he just comes home to see his mum, bring the washing, get a home-cooked meal, shop mum's pantry. Okay, right. So we know there's bargains out there. We've all got to be proactive in looking for them. If you find a bargain, feel free to share it on Cheapskates Chatter so that we can all take advantage of it if we can. What else was I going to say? It's gone. Just don't become discouraged. And if you are struggling to put food on the table, there is help available. Take advantage of it. Do not be too proud to take advantage of it. The power cord was coming out of the laptop and I was about to go. Oh no. There's help out there, and if you genuinely need it, you genuinely need it, and nobody cares other than to make sure that you have food to put on your table. Okay, if you like tonight's show, a thumbs up would be lovely. We've got 71 people watching. If I could get 71 thumbs up, I might be up all night. I'd be so excited. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with me. I do really appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed to our channel, it's really easy. You just click the subscribe button. That's all you have to do. And if you know anyone who might like to know more about Cheapskates Club or might like to watch the replay of tonight's show, there's a share button down there too. All it does is send them a link. We don't harass them. They don't sign up for anything. Just sends them a link, and then it's entirely up to them whether they use it or not. The more people that know about us, the easier it is for us to spread the message that it is absolutely possible and okay to be able to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing, especially in 2023 when inflation's through the roof and the world has gone crazy. So, if you've got to leave us now, thank you again for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next week live. If anyone would like to keep talking, let me know and we can keep on talking. I'm happy to do that. Answer some questions. We can solve the woes of the world. So, I agree, Estelle. If you need help, go to a food bank. Easy to do. You might have to answer some questions. Generally, the people that ask the questions are very empathetic and try to make them as least invasive as they possibly can. So, and they only ask the questions so that they can get you the appropriate help. So Barb's happy to keep chatting. I love that, Kylie. The worst thing you can do is be a giant and cut your cloth to fit a midget. Do what you know your family needs. Exactly. Night, Patricia. Well, everyone's hanging around. We better start talking. Someone say something. Barb's here. I really like that, Kylie. I think that's gorgeous. Cut your cloth to fit a midget. God, oh no, that made me think. Years ago, I was in New Zealand years and years and years and years ago before I was married, and I bought a jumper. It was really expensive. It was really expensive, but it was a beautiful jumper. And of course, it was blue because I like blue, and it was a gorgeous jumper. When I came home, it had to be cleaned. So I'd watched my mum all my life. Mum had hand washed all our woolen jumpers, and she used to knit in bluebell crepe. And so all our jumpers were always hand washed in the laundry sink and laid out flat to dry. So I took my jumper, my beautiful jumper that I'd only worn about 3 times, and did all that, hand washed it, laid it out to dry, and it came out, and it was about, I don't think it would have fitted a Barbie doll. I was beside myself. I was so upset because I'd used hot water. I didn't realize Mum didn't use hot water. She just used like barely warm water. Needless to say, I don't hand wash, but can't go in the washing machine. We don't have it. Hev's staying because it's still morning where she is. Oh, that's really good. Well done, one person's life, Jenny. That is so good. Oh, so good. Well done. It's very freeing to know that your bills are covered, that when the power bill comes in or the water bill comes in or the cat gets sick, that you've got money to cover them, that you're not going to be scratching to find that money. Really well done. That it's brilliant. So good. What did Cheryl buy? I bought mulch. Yeah, I think the cash digital currency conversation, especially since the Optus debacle a couple of weeks ago, has come back, absolutely come back. Everyone is very, very, very conscious of just how difficult it is to live when you can't pay for something. Doesn't matter that you've got the money in the bank. If you can't access that money, you can't pay for something. Not many people are going to extend you credit just because you've got money in the bank. You know, it's just not going to happen. It's not like, 70 years ago when you did your weekly groceries and it went on tick, and then at the end of the month you went in and paid the account. That doesn't happen anymore. So I think a lot of people got caught not having cash. I know a lot of businesses got caught not accepting cash. There were quite a few that made the news because they weren't set up to accept cash anymore. So they had customers who could pay, they just didn't have any way of taking that payment, which I thought was, I don't know, bizarre. Oh, I'm glad I'm not alone, Krista. Absolutely glad I'm not alone. Oh, I just cried. It was a beautiful, gorgeous jumper. I kept it for years. I kept it wrapped in tissue paper in my glory box for years because I just loved it so much. Yeah, constantly using the card. It's painless unless it hurts you. You're not aware of it. So paying on a card, especially since we've got tap and go, and now you don't even need to do that. You can just hold your phone up and your phone will pay for it, do the transaction for you. It's terrifying, absolutely terrifying how quickly that could turn to disaster for so many people. So many people. It's a bit like when Afterpay and Zip Pay and those sort of things came in, and they were fairly unregulated, and people were just running up, buying and putting on Afterpay because look, it's $4.43 a week or whatever, but they'd have 50 of them at $4.43 a week that had to be paid. There was very little regulation in the beginning. People were running up enormous debts and getting into such trouble with it. Saving up until you can pay cash is absolutely, I think, absolutely the best way to do something. The only thing we should ever put on tick on hock, get credit for, is a mortgage for a home. I firmly believe that. You just make do. You just make do. And if you're making do with grotty old furniture, then it makes you more determined to save up so you can buy nice new furniture and get rid of the grotty old stuff. Gives you a bit of a goal to work towards. Oops, whoa. Goodness me, everyone's talking. Okay. Cash sure is king. One of the best signs I saw during the COVID fiasco with the lockdowns and social distancing and whatever, and you had to use cards because cash was filthy. One of the best signs we saw was we still take cash and we like it. Yes. Yep, there were lots of people, Beverly, who didn't have money to pay for anything. Oh, that's nice, Yvonne. The church around the corner has a food bank on Friday. Things for sale cheaply. Free vegetables and bread. Toasted sandwich, barbecue provided, and everyone just sits around and talks. And often, it's interesting, often the toasted sandwich or the barbecue could often be the only meal that some of those people get for that day. Digital currency terrifies me. Yeah, young people don't know how to count change. They don't know how to, actually count it out back to you. It's really quite funny. And it was interesting during the Optus outage how many young people actually don't know how to use cash. Not that they didn't have it or couldn't get it. They didn't know how to use it. I was a bit gobsmacked. Yeah. Yes, they are now asking cash or card. I was asked for cash or card when I was doing my groceries. Hello, Vicky. Yes, we're well. Yeah, we had the same thing, Vanna, with our bakery that we go to. They know us. We've been going there for 20 odd years, and the same deal there. If POS was down, it was like, let's pay us next time. So we went back later in the day, or Wayne went back later in the day and paid. It was him that got caught. Um, yeah, you have to be very careful. Costco, I don't know about anywhere else, but Costco here isn't always cheaper. You really do need to know your prices with Costco. It's not always cheaper, unless you're buying Calvin Klein jeans or something ridiculous like that. But I think their mince at $9.99 is fine. I think their corned beef is still $10 a kilo. Their lamb was very expensive. Their steak is very expensive. Chicken's more expensive than I can get it from our local butcher. So you really do need to know your prices. I used to like the Costco Kirkland butter because it was packaged the American way. It came from America, of course, so I shouldn't have liked it. But it was packaged in the little, what do they call them? Not pats, little blocks anyway, little 125-gram blocks, 4-ounce blocks. So it was really easy for baking. You'd know you need 125 grams. That's just one of those. Out it came, which was really, really good. And they stopped bringing it in, which was really sad. Congratulations, Kylie. Well done. Well done. There's nothing like owning your own Christmas. Nothing like owning it. You just know Boxing Day sales, you can go and enjoy them. You don't have to worry about it. Alan had, our number one son had a big tin that he used to put his change in. And Hannah said to him one day, "Can I count your money tin?" And he said, "Yes." And so she took it to her room to count, and she counted it and put all the money back in the tin and just left it in her room. And it was about months later, 6 months later, he's gone, "Hannah, where's my money?" And she went, "Sorry, after 3 months being unclaimed, it becomes mine." Created a bit of a war. She said, "You should have claimed it within the 3 months, but now it's been longer, so it belongs to me." Oh, that's great, Beverly. Doesn't even have an EFTPOS machine. I love it. That and that. Yes, still sitting there from a couple of weeks ago. I have been sorting through it, Cheryl. Cheryl's asking if what she can see in the background is stuff for next year. I've worked all year. I've used what I've had. I had to buy elastic and something else. Oh, bad day. Can't remember anything. 2 things. I haven't bought any fabric. I haven't bought any yarn. I haven't bought any, no wrapping paper, nothing really. And I thought, doing everything handmade would put a big dent in it. But as you can see, nope, it's there. It's still there. So I'm going through it and putting it in piles of what I want to make for next year. to start off next year's handmade Christmas. Do the challenge again to see how it goes. I have bought paper and I have bought cardstock this year. I'm sure you can see behind me there's plenty, but for specific things. Oh gosh, that was a long time ago. That was Costco in Sydney, out at, I want to say Bankstown, but I don't think it was. It was somewhere out. It was a long way anyway, a long way out. A long time ago. That would have been 2010 or 2011, maybe. We did that one. It was a long time ago. That's lovely. That's really cute. Good skills for her to have too. So many people don't realise that you can make your own brown sugar. Some people don't realise that you can, caster sugar is just fine white sugar. So whiz it. Whiz it up. Thank you, Estelle. Yes, sticks of butter. Yeah. Okay. Yes, if all the power goes out, we will be in big trouble, and we do need cash to buy and sell. If all the power goes out, I would think for a lot of people, buying and selling would be the least of their worries. They won't be able to charge their phones. They won't be able to run their air conditioner. They won't be able to run their dishwasher. They won't be able to watch TV. They won't be able to watch their laptop or whatever for things. People will be in a bad way. They've got an electric car. They won't be able to charge their car. It's if all the power goes out, it is a scary thought. We had a blackout a couple of weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago. Quite unexpectedly, power was out for about 6 hours, which doesn't really bother us. I was starting to be a bit antsy about getting the freezers flipped over, but came back on. We're sort of getting used to them. We've got underground power here. Our power shouldn't go out, but if it goes out on the connector to us, then we are we're in the line, aren't we? Okay. I have some new things. I reckon my brain, because the last couple of years I've sort of introduced a couple of new things, but a lot of the same old. And that's pretty much because some of the people that we gift to all the time like the same old. So I try to mix it up a bit, but I have some new things for next year that I'm sort of itching to get started on. I have other projects to finish first. I need like 36 hours in a day so that I can get some more things done, if that makes sense, Cheryl. It was Beverly, I don't remember which one it was. I had the feeling it was around Bankstown somewhere, but now I'm thinking about it, it might not have been. It was a long way out anyway. Still, I rarely make it into caster sugar either. Simply, it's just, please, if it's going to dissolve, it's going to dissolve. If I'm doing meringue or pavlova, I will use caster sugar, just because otherwise you've got to beat the egg whites for so long that they get really dry and awful. SA has a flood that's impacting electricity supply. Okay. It was 13 weeks, 9 weeks ago, for Christmas, only Christmas. Nearest Costco's 8-hour drive away. You'd really have to know your prices. You'd really have to want to do a big shop to make it worth your while going. Yeah, lots of people can charge their phones and laptops and cameras and things in the car. We do it all the time, usually when we're traveling. But, you know, it was a long way out, Beverly. I can't quite remember. I just remember got off the plane, went into the city, picked up the crew, and we seemed to drive for hours. And I have to say, I wasn't paying too much attention, which is weird, but because I usually like to know where I'm going. But I was busy. We were busy organising the shoot and trying to get it done, because I was actually only there for the day. So I'd flown up in the morning, had to do this really quickly. And I know you see like 3 minutes max on TV, but that 3 minutes can be hours and hours and hours of filming, and then, you know, 4 times that of editing. So we wanted to get a lot of it. I wanted to get done in one. So one shoot, get it done, move on to the next one, so that we don't waste time. Yep, power goes out, the pumps go down. So a jerry can or 2 of fuel at home, if you can do it and do it safely, is not a silly thing to have on hand. Now, speaking of that, I'm changing the subject completely because we're not speaking of it at all. I was thinking about, because it came up in another group, if you live in the city, most people in the city, it's about, you know, we're all on sewer, not septic. Most country towns are on sewer now, although some of the older properties are probably still on septic. But if you're on the sewerage system and the power goes down for any length of time, do you know what to do to prevent your toilet or toilets or your drains, anything that drains into the sewer, from backing up and coming back up into your home? And I thought, something we haven't talked about in Prepare, isn't it? I remember Waterboard was working on the sewer lines, and I just put one of the babies to bed. I think it must have been Thomas. Just put babies to bed. Bye, Barb. Hope you get some sleep. Just put one of the babies to bed, and there was this noise. I went, oh my goodness. I didn't know what it was. And when I went into the bathroom was there and the toilet was off the bathroom, and there was this seepage under the door, and I was afraid to open the door, but they had done something and the sewer pipes had backwashed, if that's the term, backwashed, and of course it came back up. The whole street, our whole street, every house in the street on that on that line, every house was flooded with sewage. It's about the only time I was ever grateful we had ugly tiles on the floor and not carpet. Oh, it was terrible. It's just awful. And mad panic, absolute mad panic. So, and it took days to clean up, absolutely days to clean it up. I had to, I called Wayne's auntie to come and get the babies, and she came and got the babies, and then I just had to start cleaning, and it was disgusting. And the whole time I was a bit of a germaphobe back then too. I was absolutely shuddering. It was awful. Night, Cheryl. It was just hideous. So do you know what to do? Do you know how to stop that happening at your property if the power goes out at the water treatment plants and they can't process the sewage and pump it and do whatever it is they have to do? Because it's not pleasant. Trust me, it's not pleasant. It's downright disgusting. Because you can be sure that people will not think about it and will keep using their toilet and flushing it, which will just add to the chaos. So, just to pleasant thought. How do you stop it? You actually have to you turn something off, and Wayne knows how to do it. You turn something off and I don't know. I'm having a bad day. Wayne knows how to do it. If it was to happen again, I just would call him. There we go. How's that for being independent? I just have to call him. It's just, yes, there is a way that you can stop it from happening, and I can't remember what we have to do. Wayne knows. I will ask him and I will post it on Cheapskates Chatter. Let me make a note. I say to him, how do we stop the sewage from backing up through the toilet? And he'll just look at me, shake his head. If you're on septic, you don't have to worry about it. Who would have thought there'd be an advantage to be on septic? Although I actually, never had a problem with septic either. And of course, if you're not on either and you're using old pans or long drops, then you're way out of it. All you've got to worry about is redbacks. Okay. Alrighty. I don't know. Look. Okay. Can't quickly find out for you either. I mean, he's not here. Tennis ball. I don't know what you do with the tennis ball. You'd want to hope it doesn't go down because it will block it. Okay. Shops, doors, electric doors to get into shopping centres and into shops are electric. Trams, trains, so public transport, your petrol pumps, your Bowsers, apart from your lights and general household stuff, lots and lots of things. We rely on electricity for so many things without even thinking about it. Yeah, don't ever put a tennis ball down your toilet. It will block it, and that will be just as bad. Electric garage doors, yep. What would happen to people with electric cars if they're totally electric? They'd want to head for home. Otherwise, they'll be stranded on the side of the road, won't they? If they're hybrids and they run on fuel and power, they can switch over and head for home. Otherwise, they'll be stranded on the side of the road. Yeah, a lot of. I think we've talked about this before. In theory, I like the idea of an electric car. It's quiet, you know. But in practice, not so much. Because what's the advantage? It's quiet. We live in a land of great distances. It's nothing for us to travel 1,200 kilometres in a day in a single trip. So if we were to do that in an electric vehicle, we wouldn't be able to, because even if we could charge it regularly, I think the most you can get from one now is 460 kilometres. So we've got like 3 charges to do to travel the 1,200 Ks. How long does it take to charge it? That's a big addition to a long day of driving. And then a lot of our driving, because we're on the east coast, so even and we have big distances between, you know, to travel. But if you're slightly west, if you're over the Great Dividing Range, pretty much on the west side of it, there are huge distances between towns, between roadhouses. It's remote. It is very remote. So you need to, we need to think of these things, and electric's just not going to cut it. Did anyone watch Survival Lily's video on what insurance companies using the data they gather when you're in an electric vehicle, including medical data? No, but that's really interesting. So let me make a note. I'll put it on my to-do list. Because that would be interesting to see. And then we've got the batteries are not clean. They burst into flames. They're very expensive to replace, and there is no safe way of disposing of them at the moment, which sort of makes me laugh, because that sort of puts them on a par with nuclear waste, doesn't it? But nobody's screaming about that. Screaming about nuclear waste, but they're not screaming about, you know, just how dangerous and difficult it is to dispose of these batteries. So, of course they can. Data mining is everywhere, absolutely everywhere. You type something into a search engine and ads for that thing pop up on your phone or on your Facebook, in your email. You buy something at the store and use a loyalty card, you'll be inundated with junk about what you bought. The solar panels last a bit longer than these batteries though. And I think solar panels can be revamped. There was an Australian company working on that. What else was I going to say? Data mining's everywhere, absolutely everywhere. One person's life journey, absolutely everywhere. They can do what they please. Have you noticed there's been a lot of talk lately about AI, artificial intelligence? It started with the chat GQ, haven't looked into it myself. That hit, and it was amazing and wonderful, and it's going to make blogging so much easier and whatever, and talking about turning and how it's a good thing. And then I noticed just today an ad for a camera, a phone. Mine's not here. Just a phone, and it was more about the camera in the phone. And you take your photo, so I could take a photo of me, and using AI, I can manipulate that photo completely. I can put people in, I can take people out, I can change the background completely, get rid of that whole top mess, get rid of whatever this is behind me and put flowers there or whatever, all through using AI. And isn't it a wonderful thing? And it's going to improve your photos, makes taking photos so easy. You don't actually even have to be in focus anymore. You don't even have to have the people that you want in the photo anymore. And so good, and blah, 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 blah. And I was thinking, well, a couple of points. First of all, that means there's no skill in photography, which means there's no honesty in the photography, because it's going to be manipulated. Not that a lot of photos aren't these days anyway, but not to the extremes that this program was taking it. And if it's going to be free on a phone, can you imagine what the other stuff actually does? But I then thought, it's marketed so that it's going to make my life so much easier. So buy this phone, and it's got the camera, and it's got the AI ability to do whatever and manipulate the photos. So I could take a photo of my dishcloth and make it look like the Mona Lisa. It would be perfect. And if you've seen the photos I take, you know that there's no manipulating in them. But it struck me that that's making it common. It's marketing it as something really useful, something that everybody will love, everybody should have, everybody should use. It's free with the camera, with the phone, and it's a great thing. It's going to be a really good thing for the world. And that struck me as that is part of the conditioning. This is how it starts. It started talking about, probably 6 weeks ago, they started talking about the chat thing and how it can rewrite essays. Or it must have been about exam time, I think it all came out. But then it was like, if you're a blogger, it's going to make your blog posts wonderful. I haven't tried it, but I thought I might, just to see what it would do. It can make your life so much easier, yada, yada, yada. It's free. You just type in your keywords or whatever, and it comes up with spiel, which again takes the skill out of writing. So why would you need to, go to university and study journalism or whatever, do creative writing or whatever? And but again, it's conditioning. So that was the first bit. Now we've got the bit with the camera, and it makes your life so much better, so much easier. Your photos will be perfect. You can turn your frown upside down, literally. It has a thing that can make you look like you're smiling. It's conditioning. It's conditioning so that, I wonder what the next step will be, because before very long, it's going to be accepted. It's a bit like the field of dreams, if you build it, they will come. So with artificial intelligence, if you sell it the right way, often enough, for long enough, people will love it. They will demand it. What is it our friend Klaus said? You will own nothing and love it. You will own nothing and like it. So it's it's there. I know I have a warped and twisted mind. If you don't know me and you're not used to me, please don't be terrified. But it started. It's here. It's getting closer to us owning nothing and liking it. Chat GPT. Thank you, Estelle. I knew it was something. See, that's how much notice I took of it. Wow. I'm just reading your comments. Bye, Yvonne. Yes, Vicky, nothing is safe. Big Brother is everywhere. Everywhere we go, we're watched, we're listened to. Seriously, I hope they did not. I hope they did not get a grant to look into that. Taxpayers' money being used to its best advantage. I'm sorry, Kylie. Oh my gosh. I have to say, Tegan, we didn't have a pen license when I went to school. That's how long ago it was since I learned. Got to grade 3 and we started to learn cursive writing, running writing, and we were allowed to switch to fountain pens in grade 5. If our writing, and we had books to write in, and writing was a subject. We had to practice writing every day in school, and if our handwriting was neat enough and legible and all the curls were in the right spot and whatever, then we were allowed to move on to fountain pens. And I can remember the first fountain pen I had was actually one you had to fill it with ink. So it had the nib, and you used to put the nib in, and then you had a lifty up thing, and it would suck the ink up. And you tap it down. You had to be really careful with that one because it would leave blobs everywhere. Then the next one, I think in grade 6, I got one that took cartridges, refills, which was much better because you've all seen me work in the kitchen. I'm so messy. You imagine what I would have been like in a classroom with ink. So, yeah, but we didn't have pen licenses. My kids did when they went to school. They had to pass and get a pen license. But honestly, I have one who won't write. And he was 5, just starting school, and flatly refused to write. And his answer was, I don't need to learn how to write because I can talk to you. And Mr. Dean said to him, what if you can't talk to me? What if I'm not here? I can call you on the phone. What if I don't have a phone? Well, I can type you a letter. That was his answer. He didn't need to learn to write because he could type or he could talk. He was 5. And I remember Mr. Dean was actually the principal, and he's just looked at me and said, I can't say his logic is wrong because his logic is actually right. He's correct. But you still need to learn to write. And to this day, his handwriting's atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Yeah, Beverly, you had to do fountain pens too. I still have one of my fountain pens. It was a Parker pen, so it was a special gift from my father. So I still have that one. The RAF wants carbon neutral fuel in their jets. Well, purple pigs flying backwards and with their 2 Sundays this week. Seriously, how can they have carbon neutral fuel? No. I was going to say, really, do the people that want this, are the people that want this actually in defence forces, in the RAF, in the Navy, in the Army, or are they just, pen pushers, public servants that get paid to come up with wild ideas to take the focus off other more important things? Patricia doesn't use stamps and card makers. She wears too much ink. I am hopeless. I can get it all over me. Yes, spelling and grammar, punctuation don't seem to exist. No, never got taught shorthand. I actually went to TAFE to learn shorthand. Okay. Yeah, well, I just want a phone that I can make a phone call, accept a phone call. If I need to leave a message, I can leave a message. I have learned how to text. Took a few dozen years, but I have learned how to text. But oh, sorry, I'm just laughing at Aradia's comment. That's hilarious. A phone should be a phone. A camera should be a camera. 100 years. I think that's hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. All right, guys, it's 9:18 and I am fading fast. So I think we'll wind it up if that's all right with you. My back is sore. And yeah, well, who's going to buy it, Aradia? Who's going to buy it? Who's going to buy it? You can't build on it. And Camden is such a pretty place. Who's going to buy it? That is just hilarious. Serves them right. Absolutely serves them right. No sympathy at all. All right, I'm going to say good night. Oh, I'm hopeless with my phone, Beverly. Literally, Hannah just shakes her head. She got me the easiest phone she could. And she said to me only a couple of weeks ago, I think it was before we went away, it needs to be upgraded. And I went, no, I haven't had it very long. So we've had it about 7 years. So I went, really? Don't think so. I don't think they make simple ones like that anymore. Okay. I found my watch, my wind-up watch, cleaning out a drawer yesterday. And I thought, it still works. So I'm going to keep it. I don't wear a watch. I haven't worn a watch for a very long time for a particular reason, but I'm going to keep it because, yeah, we don't have a wind-up clock My little alarm clock is wind up, but that's the only thing in our house. So once the power goes out and we don't have phones or the microwave or the oven, and the batteries run out in the clocks, we won't know the time. So I'm going to keep my wind up watch, and I'll just keep winding it up. Good point. We should mention that over on Prepare too. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching again. Thumbs up would be really nice. If you're not subscribed, you know the drill. Hit the subscribe button. And hopefully I'll be back next Tuesday night with another Cheapskates Club show, so we can talk about living life debt-free, cashed up and laughing. If you've got any questions or you think of them after we've finished, pop them in the comments below. I will come back and have a look at them maybe tomorrow. All right. Have a great week, everyone.